Hey guys, it's Jen, and today's video is going to be all about why you suck at makeup and maybe a few tips to help you if you feel that way. I am already going to say I'm sorry for having such a clickbaity title, but the reason why I wanted to make this video is because I recently got a DM on Instagram and this girl was so kind. She was like, I have been watching you and your family grow for years. I love your videos. I love how you do your makeup, but I cannot do that because I suck at makeup. And when I got that, it really kind of took me aback because I just was like, why would she say that? What would make her feel that way? So it just made me want to come up with a few ideas of things that you could actually do if you feel like you suck at makeup or that you're watching these videos on YouTube and you're like, oh, I don't know how to do that. I would love to, but I cannot physically do that. Maybe it's little bitty steps and little adjustments where you can do that and that you don't suck at makeup. So if you guys want to check it out, please hit the thumbs up button. It super duper helps me with YouTube's algorithm and visibility. Let's go ahead and just hop right into it. The first tip, it takes practice. And I don't mean that like your old piano teacher saying you need to do this 10 million times every single week, you need to do this as homework. Try to think about it as your you time. What I used to do is at the end of the day when I had just like an hour or so of quiet time, sometimes what I like doing is on a day where there's zero pressure, I know I'm not going out, I know I'm not gonna see anybody, I play with makeup. It's like my art time, my arts and craftsy kind of time where I can just do whatever the heck I want. There's nobody to judge me. There's no reason for me to put pressure on myself to have a perfect face. It's just a time where I can experiment, try something new, and it doesn't matter because at the end of it, I can just wash everything off with my skincare and everything anyway. So that is one of my favorite tips for those of you who feel like, oh, I just can't get the perfect eyeliner wing. Honestly, it comes down to muscle memory. Once you find something you like, the more you practice, the easier it gets and the more you don't actually have to think about it. It's just the whole figuring out what looks good on you in the first place and like teaching your hand how to do it. That can sometimes be the troublesome part. Experimenting is a part of learning and learning is a part of growing and sucking less. So the second reason why you suck at makeup is because your expectations and your reality do not match. I think this is sort of like one of those guides for all of life, like the reason why you feel bad about many situations, whether it's beauty related or not, is because you have an expectation that it will go a certain way and then it doesn't. And then instead of having a direct way to fix it, you just kind of blame yourself. At least I feel like that's my tendency. A lot of times when my expectations don't match reality, I just think it's because I suck. We're exposing ourselves to things that are really not fair in terms of comparing yourself. Like for instance, with a lot of social media, if you just spend an hour looking at a bunch of perfected photoshopped photos on Instagram of all of the beauty influencers, and then you sit down and you're like, okay, so this is what I have to work with today. Sometimes that's really unfair because this might be their job. It might be their entire way of living. They might be going to estheticians to perfect their skin so that the makeup goes on smoother. They might have every expensive product. They might use Photoshop, and that is not really a realistic way for you to compare you actually sitting down in front of your mirror and being like, okay, if I do this eyeshadow perfectly, I'm gonna look like that. Because a lot of times it's not about how perfect you can do it, it's that those images don't actually exist in real life, or it's very difficult to obtain, and the people who are also doing it might also just be experts with tons of experience. What I would say is just kind of forgive yourself. Be okay with wherever you are in the process, because let me tell you, it's okay to be a beginner, and it's okay to not be a beginner and have an off day where things are just not working out. I have done makeup and beauty for so many years, and I still have days where I feel like everything messes up. I still have days where my face is peeling, my lipstick is sliding everywhere, and my eyeliner is just all the way to my temples. Like, it happens. If that is how you feel, just know that it's not anything wrong with you. I think it's just something that everybody experiences and people people kind of don't talk about it. I don't know if it's a good thing to say like lower your expectations. Maybe just lower it a little bit and realize that we're all human and it's okay to not have every makeup day be like the Instagram models. Another reason why you suck at makeup is because you might not be using the right tools. There are certain things that come into your life and it's really difficult, if that is the thing that is in your life right now, for you to switch that out for something that works better. For instance, when you buy furniture, how many of you guys might have like bought a table or a chair when it wasn't like the perfect thing for your space, but then like it's super hard to get rid of because it's working and you're just not gonna get rid of it. And I'm not saying you need to get rid of all of your makeup brushes or your eyelash curler or whatever, but try to think a little bit more critically about the things that you do have right now. If you have a makeup brush that you hate and it just doesn't blend well and it stabs your eye every time you use it, you don't need to keep using that makeup brush. A good makeup brush that it has like a really strong ferrule, which is like the metal part that holds it to the stick, if it's really solid and the bristles are cut really evenly, it makes your makeup actually look better because it blends easier, it applies easier. The right tools actually do make a difference. I would also say in terms of like an eyelash curler, you need to find one that actually fits your eyelid shape, which of course for me, like as a Korean person living in America, that was a really difficult thing to find for many, many years. And then once I finally found the ones that work for me, like Shiseido or Shuamura, it just made a huge, 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 huge difference because finally my lashes got curled up, you could see them, and it made me feel so much better about my abilities, even though it maybe didn't have as much to do with my hand abilities and more to do with the tool that I was using. So if there is something that is not totally working for you, feel free to switch to using better tools and you might be surprised that things go better. So another reason why you suck at makeup is maybe related to the last thing I said, where you're not curating the way you're applying your makeup to your actual features. Everybody has a different face. We have different cheekbones, we have different eyelids, we have different eyebrows, and not every tip is going to work on everybody. It's a little bit easier sometimes if you do find somebody that you're learning from that is a little bit more similar to what you look like. Obviously, that can be more of a struggle for certain of us because a lot of media out there, especially regarding beauty, sometimes not every kind of skin tone and eyelid shape and bone structure is represented in some of the more popular ways things are marketed. But you know, things like YouTube are existing now where you can find somebody who does look more like you. Try to pay attention when they really emphasize certain beauty tips, like the angle that they do their eyeliner, or if they're really adamant about a specific eyebrow pencil. At least for me, as somebody who tries to give product recommendations, the reason why I'm super passionate about certain things is because for me, it's like finding that diamond in the rough with certain items that do work really well for like Asians or like our skin complexion or like our hair color. So yeah, just consider the shape of your own eyes, your own cheekbones, your own bone structure. And just because a really famous influencer says, oh, you should contour your nose this way, it's okay to just experiment and see if that really actually works for you. Just because it's a popular trend to do doesn't mean it's flattering for your features. So this next one is, I think, actually a huge reason why you might think you suck at makeup, is that your lighting is bad. There are so many times that I have put my makeup on in like a dark bathroom and I thought like, oh, things are just not looking good. My pores look huge. My eyeshadow like isn't blending no matter how much I blend it. And then I just go outside in nice, beautiful, even sunlight and I'm like, oh, this isn't so bad. This actually looks pretty good. Lighting can distort our perspective, not only of how our skin looks, but literally the actual shadows and creases that we're trying to form on our face using contour, using eyeshadow, whatever it may be. Sometimes those things aren't represented correctly when there isn't enough light and we're not really able to see exactly what we're doing. So my favorite thing to do, both when I am applying my makeup in the first place and sort of like afterwards if I'm doing like a makeup check, sit in front of a window. Like, I know it's easiest to sit in front of a vanity or in your bathroom where all your stuff is, but I'm telling you, pack all your things, walk over to your window, put on your makeup. You'll be like, wow, my makeup looks so much better. And it's not anything different with what you did. It has everything to do with having a better visual acuity of what it really looks like. And the most flattering light, which is from the sun. For the selfie makeup check tip, also do that in front of a window. But not in like direct light, bright indirect light. It's perfect. The last reason why you suck at makeup, and I'm really taking this tip personally because it's definitely my generation that maybe does this the worst, but it is because you were stuck in the past. Have you ever heard that thing where people say that as people age, their like fashion gets stuck whenever they were in high school and then they just keep wearing that even though they get older, or like their hairstyle? The same is true kind of for makeup. Makeup is so funny because it has such strong trends. Sometimes you have to keep up with those makeup trends too. It's not just about like fashion or hair or whatever that can make you look fresher or younger. So like for instance, I would say 5-10 years ago, the super high contour Kim Kardashian, tons of foundation, full beat, that was like totally the thing. So like everybody learned how to do the, this is painful for me to even use this phrase, but like brows on fleek, like Sharpie perfection eyebrows. Having the Kim Kardashian contour, the highlight that was super extreme on the cheeks and the nose. Granted, even me saying these things, I'm sure the trends of now are going to be out of date 5 years from now. One of the biggest things that I see, at least with people in their like later 20s, 30s, 40s, is that the way that they do their makeup, instead of evolving with things that have happened like within the last couple of years, is that it's stuck in that moment like 5-10 years ago, and it starts to look a little dated. Not super obviously dated, like if you're just hanging out with your peers, but when you take a picture and you look at it versus when you see something online with these younger kids and you're like, why doesn't my makeup look like that? A lot of times it's because you're not evolving your makeup techniques from what you did in high school or what you did 10 years ago. An example I love I would love to give you just simply has to do with eyeshadow colors. When I first started doing things with like makeup and beauty, I feel like the really popular colors were like taupey colors, maybe some like deeper plums, purples, olive green. A lot of these were very cool tones. And first of all, with me being very yellow undertoned Asian girl in the Midwest, like they were obviously not the most flattering on my skin tone, but not that they weren't like pretty. I feel like I did some pretty makeup looks. It's just that compared to the current trends, which are more natural looking shades, a little bit warmer tones, if I look at myself where I was actually younger than I am now, but wearing the super heavy, cool toned colors, it looks kind of older, to be honest. Trends are always evolving, as I said. This will come back to bite me in 5 or 10 years saying specifically what the trends are, but it's more about understanding it's okay to keep up with some of the current trends because makeup itself is evolving. The actual formulations are evolving to be better. Foundations are better than they used to be. Concealers are better than they used to be. And there are ways of changing up our own technique that can keep us looking fresher and younger and more modern, just more current with what is cool. Cool, I hate saying that. It makes me feel really old. So try not to get too stuck in the past, and it might help you feel like you suck a little bit less at makeup. So I guess that is it for the video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. If you found any other tips that you were thinking of, specific reasons why you feel like you suck at makeup, or if there's one that like just really resonates with you, please include that in the comments below. Please don't take this video too seriously. I am not calling any actual people out on sucking. It was just to be a little intro in like calling ourselves out in ways that we can improve our own makeup skills too. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I love you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!